What up, people? It's your boy, Master Chudy out here with another Final Space review. So, today's episode is very interesting. It kicks off into high gear immediately, and it definitely incorporates a lot of elements that were becoming very popular within this particular season. But I'm gonna try reviewing it in my special fashion. Quick summary, focus on the characters, and moving forward. And this episode does present interesting possibilities moving forward. So, we get off with Lord Commander's now a Titan, as we saw at the end of last episode, and waste no time. Bolu is no chance, and Lord Commander brutally executes Bolo. So that's another main character, another character gone from the team. So the numbers are getting thin. It seems like everybody's dying in every single episode. So basically, his Lord Commander chases them through space. He's managing to damage the ship, but they manage to get out of there. But before the Lord Commander can continue to pursue, we see Invictus come in. And Invictus is like, "You are inciting a rebellion against me." And Lord Commander said, "You swore you'd make me a Titan. Well, I'm a Titan, so whatever deal that we had is null and void." But he's like saying, "I didn't make that as a promise." It's like, so I'm going to remind you who I am. And so you just see Invictus summon all these Titans. And Lord Commander's like, "Fine, I'll oblige you." So we get back to the team squad. They realize that, hey, the ship is bad. It's badly damaged. And we get to see some interesting dynamics. And I'm not going to lie, I felt the same way about Quinn 2 episodes ago. Avocado is basically saying that, hey, look, it's like, look, yeah, it's like, this is your thing. We're pretty much here because we're all. This is your fault. We could have escaped final space, which is what I was initially thinking. Get out, because clearly there's no hope. But they decide to stay and do the breach, and it's like we had to do everything basically. So they begin to repair the ship one by one. And we see once again interesting parallels. We see that Ash is having an internal conflict. And we see a good, nice conversation between her and Cheryl. Cheryl's like saying that, hey, I've been here before. I've always been torn between sides. And, I've always ended up looking back. I've always chosen the wrong side. And, Ash is like saying, well, what if this side I'm on is the wrong side? And so that's when we see Invictus with the Garys are coming back. And really, the dead Garys are going ahead and and attacking the ship. So in order to defend the ship, because they've taken Hugh offline, they split into teams to fight. Basically, we see Avocados with with Quinn, Locados with Gary. We see that Biscuit, another nice highlight of him. He's on his own doing his thing, but we get more important is the conversations. Basically, we see that Avocado basically tell Quinn is like, "You always have to be the Messiah. You always have to. I'll close the breach." And it's like, "I will. We have to defeat the Titans." And you just see that. It's like, well, what would you rather do? It's like, I would have rather survived. And she's like saying, and Avocado's like saying, "I'm gonna die here with my son, and it's all your fault." And it's like, well, you could have chosen to come. It was your fault. Well, you chose to come here, and Avocado's like saying, "We have it." And she's like, "What do you mean you have it?" It's like, we all have final space poisoning. And she thought that, oh, is it just even Avocado? It's like everyone has it, even 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 Gary. And initially I didn't think about the others as much, but that pretty much confirms that everybody, the whole crew, has final space poisoning, which begs the question why nobody decided to break off a larger chunk of that ceruleum for, at least one or two other people who the crew could have decided needed it, but that's neither here nor there. So, Quinn starts to feel bad because she's now saying that, yeah, oh my gosh, everything bad is happening. Meanwhile, we get that Cheryl's looking for Ash because Lil Kato brings it up that, oh, Ash is gone. We can't find Ash. So we see that Invictus is speaking to her, saying that, hey, join me, kill all the crew, so that there can be a world without death. But Cheryl manages to get in, find out some dead Garys, and do everything. So they manage to get Hugh online. They manage to defeat all the Garys. Biscuit has a shining moment, and they manage to escape. But Ash manages to subdue one Invictus, and Gary's like saying kill it, and she's like saying I can't, and that almost brought the fact it's like why can't you? But then Locato tells Ash, hey, why don't you purge Invictus out of this Gary? And she does it, and then we get this scene was very morbid to me because I almost thought he was resurrected, but it was still a reanimated it was still a zombie, a reanimated corpse, and then we just see this Gary revive revive basically. They ask him what's your name. It's like saying my name is Gary Goodspeed, and he's like saying how'd you get how'd you get here? It's like saying I closed the breach, and I was surrounded by a sea of darkness. And he looks at Quinn, the zombie Gary, and he says, you never came for me, and and but he's like saying, I'm glad that you're still here and that you're in front of me. And she's like saying, they have a good heartfelt moment, and his death, that zombie Gary's re-death, you know, it was it was just as morbid. But they decide, after that she finds out that Gary and everybody has final space poisoning. To which also Gary and Locato also have final space poisoning as well as they reveal to each other. So she now decides to say that, hey, let's find the portal and let's hightail it out of there. And once again, interestingly enough, when they reach their goal, before they decide that, they see every single Earth that has been pulled from every single timeline, and they deduce that there's a Titan. There must be a Titan growing in each of the different Earths that have been brought in, and they basically serve as incubators, which means that hey, there's going to be an army of Titans. So that's when they decide to go. When they bring it to a vote, it's interesting enough that Ash is like saying, and I suspect that her dabbling with the dark side is going to get even stronger with these last two episodes. That she's like saying, hey, Nightfall would have run from a fight. Why are we doing this? But Gary's like, hey, who would know better than Quinn? And she's like, yeah. So they're getting ready to head out and find the portal to head home, and that's how the episode ends. So let's get into how the characters were. We see Gary in this episode. He's kind of really stuck here as a leader, but he manages to pull through everything like that. And we see that he's trying to keep it together. He's trying to keep morale you know high among the team squad, but that's pretty hard. Avocado, we see that he's dealt with a lot, but we see that his frustration, and I think he essentially is a mouthpiece for what the audience, some members, a good number of people of the viewership believe that he's frustrated with Quinn. He feels like he's going to die because of Quinn, and Quinn didn't make anything better when she said that we're going to stay and we're going to close the breach. And given with what happened with Kevin Van Newton, you know he's dead, and his sacrifice meant nothing. If anything, they could have escaped with their lives, and he could have at least said, "Hey, I died with that fact that they're gone safely out of final space." But we see that Avocado's like, "Yeah," and he really hammers in that point, so that when Quinn finally says that, "Yeah, we got to get out of here," he's like saying, "That sounds like a plan." Um, we get very good development with Cheryl. She's trying to, not that she's trying to, but she definitely fulfills that mother role for Ash, reflecting on her past life, the mistakes she's made, and trying to show Ash that, hey, you don't want to follow the path I did. It's not good, and you suffer in the long run. Lil Kato was very clutch in this episode with him suggesting that, hey, purge Invictus, and maybe we can find information from this Gary. Very proactive as well. Ash's inner conflict is becoming full circle. We thought that, ever since, they buried Fox, that she was beginning to heal slowly. And when she saw the Kevin net, it looked like she was fully on board. But it's clear that the more that they didn't get to escape, I believe that with the Lord Commander becoming a Titan, it's put a dent in her loyalty with Team Squad. So we don't know what's going to happen with these two episodes. Biscuit was a whole bunch of fun. It's good to see him more so active. He was definitely being the engineer and the crazy, lovable tiger that we all know him to be. And Kevin was annoying as he was during the funeral episode. But that's neither here nor there. All in all, this was a fun episode. It was a dark episode. It was an all-out zombie fence. And the addition of multiple Earths opens up the show to unique possibilities should it be blessed with another season or two. I mean, it really does. But yeah, I so far give this episode a 9 out of 10. So thank y'all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notifications to make sure you're notified. Once again, I do these reviews for you, the people, because I want to discuss good comics and, well, Final Space and get your opinions on them. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below of what you think of this episode. Thank you all for watching, and I'll have more videos up when I can. Peace.